Think with the doctor. Yes, he's got it. He carries down. Way back the baby to sleep until morning.
Ewing. Oh, wow. Oh, he's going to try to get one more shot off the left foot. The ball's there. How about that? Steps over Toronto. He thought about three. He'll put up a three.
Yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. Boom Broadcasting presents 3 from Deep. I'm your host, Jason Colenso. Welcome to the show. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Happy Hump Day. Thank you very much for joining me here at 3 from Deep. I appreciate it. We're just so knee-deep into the playoffs right now, man. It is very exciting. Of course, as a New York Knicks fan, I am uber excited. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. But first things first, first time here, I appreciate you joining me. I'm Jason Colenso. This is 3 from Deep. We're on the Boom Broadcasting Network on the YouTube channel. So please like and subscribe. If you have not done so yet, please do so. You will not be sorry for what we do here. We have tons of great content providers. We do basketball, we do baseball, we do football, we do college, we do tons of wrestling stuff here. We have shows about TV shows. We do it all here on Boom Broadcasting. So please like and subscribe. Jump on the bandwagon, man. You guys will not be disappointed. But thank you very much for joining me here, guys. What do we have on today's show? Well, we're going to talk about last night's game 1 of the Western Conference Finals. Did not disappoint, but it did kind of disappoint a little bit, and we'll talk about that. Of course, we have tonight my New York Knicks versus those pesky Pacers. We'll talk about that a little bit. We got our Kia all-rookie team to talk about, first-team rookies. So we'll talk about the rookies, and then since we're talking about the rookies, we got the NBA draft. Will be coming up here pretty soon in June. So we're going to do that here on 3 from Deep here. We're going to start just kind of going through the top 30 draft prospects. So we'll start off with 30 through 25 here tonight. Today. Not nighttime yet. Feels like it sometimes, though, doesn't it? You know, you get a little late in the afternoon or, here in the afternoon here, especially if you've been up early. Like I do, I get up pretty early, so for me, it's late. So, but thanks, guys, for joining me here. First things first, let's jump into that Western Conference for Finals Game 1 we had last night, man. I'll tell you what, the Thunder rolled. Woo, man, they showed up in that second half, and the T-Wolves had no answer. It was pretty much a blowout. So T-Wolves get the doors blown off of them, 88-114. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, MVP performance. I think he's got it pretty much wrapped up. Last night's performance shows why he's going to win it. He has been really the most consistent superstar in these playoffs so far, and he did not disappoint last night. 31, 5-9. He was on point, especially in that second half, man. They turned it on. The Wolves were up by 4 at halftime and then got the doors blown off of them in that third quarter, man. I mean, it was a 32-point third quarter for the Oklahoma City Thunder. T-Wolves only scored 18. Great job, Oklahoma City. I figured, man, maybe they're going to come out sluggish. They played on Sunday night. They had a 7-game series against Nikola Jokic and those Nuggets. I was like, man, this is just kind of setting itself up for maybe a little bit of a letdown from SGA. And, man, they did not. Chet Holmgren was all over the place, dunking on those guys. To me, the biggest story was the points in the paint. The T-Wolves fell in love with the 3 too much, which, again, drives me nuts with some teams. Points in the paint, 54 for Oklahoma City to the T-Wolves 20. So, guys, these teams, I don't know why they do it, and I don't know if it's the analytics and all this other stuff that drive me nuts. Stop chucking it up from three. This is the playoffs. You got to get the ball in the basket, get that other team in foul trouble. The Minnesota Timberwolves were at the line. It looked like they were at the line the whole game. Excuse me. The Oklahoma City Thunder was at the line the whole game. Minnesota Timberwolves, I think they saw the line, one shot, a technical foul, for an illegal defense at halftime. They had one free throw by halftime. That's not how you're going to get it done. Disappointed. Dante DiVincenzo, 3 for 12 from three. They chucked up 50 shots from that to the 3-point line, man. And that was absolutely ridiculous. Again, points in the paint, guys. What are you doing? Chucking up threes, and especially when you're not making them. And when you start seeing that basket get a little smaller every time, you're trying to hit something from three, you need to try to kind of change the game plan a little bit, man. And the T-Wolves did not change the game plan. Man, I love me some Dante DiVincenzo. I miss you in New York. But, man, you shot horrible this game. And you guys kept just trying to chuck up threes. And then by the time you actually woke up a little bit, it was way too late. But the one guy I'm going to put on blast is Anthony Edwards. 18, 9, and 3. That was a disappointing performance from somebody that was supposed to be the next guy, the biggest guy. You're watching these blackout games from Michael Jordan and all this other stuff you're talking trash about, and you did 18 points. I know he tweaked his ankle a little bit there in the first quarter. Good thing, I know he had to go into tunnel and get kind of wrapped up again. So I know it was a good thing that he was back in the game, that he did not get hurt. A lot of Timberwolves fans kind of held their breath. I saw him kind of clutching that ankle, and I was like, whoa. If he goes out, the T-Wolves are definitely in trouble. Props to Julius Randle. He's the only one that got off the bus. 28 and 8. Julius Randle, only one. Nobody else on that Timberwolves team I even got off the bus. I don't know if what was going on. I don't know if it's the time off they had, if they were rusty because they had more time off. They won their series early. Oklahoma City, they should have been tired. They just came off that 7-game series, only a couple days rest. I don't know. T-Wolves, you look terrible. This was not the T-Wolves team that we've seen making its way through the playoffs. And that definitely was not Edwards' best game. That was very disappointing for somebody that's supposed to be the next big thing, or all these damn comparisons, which I hate doing, and I'm not going to do it on this show. I don't like comparing modern players to players from before that have already cemented their legends. I don't agree with that. I think it's the dumbest shit I've ever heard. People keep comparing these young cats to guys that have statues. Do not compare young players, good or bad, to legends. We need to stop doing that, because now you put all this pressure on these young guys, and some of them can't handle it. So right now, Anthony Edwards, dude, you're on notice. That was a shit game. I'm hoping that's like your one throwaway game. You better show up. They need you to drop 35, 40 points a game. This Timberwolves team will not make it. I don't even think you're going to make it to game 5. I expected this series to go at least 7 games. It'd be a hard-fought series, but after game 1, man, if the Thunder roll like that and the T-Wolves continue to look thunderstruck, it's a wrap. I think it's a 4-game sweep, because right now, SGA and them boys look good. Timberwolves, We'll see what happens on game 2. But that was a lackluster performance and a heck of a performance from, excuse me, which is soon to be the NBA MVP. This is my crack image staff, guys. This is how technologically advanced I am here on 3 from Deep. So my son drew this. If you haven't watched the show here throughout the season, this was my crack MVP picture that my son drew for me. So that's how we do it here. But SGA, that's what superstars are supposed to do. Dropping 30, getting your whole team involved, and getting a win. You done did it, dude. Great job there. So, game 2, Thursday night. We'll see what happens. If the Timberwolves, this Timberwolves team shows up again, this series is a wrap. Edwards, you're supposed to be that dude. Where you at? SGA, you're up. Great job. So, I temper my excitement here a little bit, guys. As a New York Knicks fan who has not had this level of excitement for 25 years, since 1999, have been waiting patiently for the New York Knicks to not just have a good team. We've had some good teams. We had some great teams. We've had some good players, but we've fallen short of expectations. This year, great season, 3rd in the East. Even though we looked terrible against the top teams, to turn around and beat Detroit and then turn around and beat the Boston Celtics. Even though they lost Jason Tatum, I still think the Knicks would have won that series. They just looked too good. Boston did not look good at all. They did not look in sync at all. But tonight, Knicks Pacers. Big questions I have here. First one is there going to be too much nostalgia? You know, when you start getting older and you watch these games, you start hearkening back to, man, I remember 1999. I remember 1994. I remember 1995. I remember Reggie Miller. I watched it not live in person, but live on TV. I was living in Florida at the time, but, you know, eyes glued to the television. So I remember where I was during a lot of these games, during the Reggie Miller, Spike Lee face-offs, and some of those big wins and some of those big losses that the Knicks and Pacers had. So I'm wondering if there's just going to be too much nostalgia with these teams. I wonder if they're going to get a lot of those kind of questions, and if it's going to kind of just drown out the game itself that's going to be played. I'm hoping it does not. It to me, I think it's been far enough, 25 plus years, for some of those big series that happened. But the biggest thing I need them to remember and fuel the flame is being bounced last year. You know, 50-plus win team, Knicks team last year. We had some injuries with OG, and then towards the end there, Brunson went out. But I need the Knicks to fuel the fire, knowing they got bounced by the Indiana Pacers last year. Because right now, this is a different Pacers team. It's a lot of the same players, but man, this Pacers team, especially through these playoffs, have been crazy impressive. They beat Giannis and the Bucks. Yes, they were a little shorthanded. I think the Bucks did underperform. Kind of an underperforming, underwhelming season, especially for someone like Giannis. But still, hey, you play who's in front of you, and you beat who's in front of you. So they beat the Bucks. They go and beat a 60-win Cavaliers team. They had a few injuries, but you know what? Again, guys, play who is in front of you and who's on the court, and they did. They didn't let any of that stuff bother them. They went, handled their business, Here they are in the Eastern Conference Finals. So Pacers, too much nostalgia, guys? I want to hear some of your thoughts. Please drop me a comment, man. I want to hear your thoughts if you think that's going to play any kind of factor into this, or is it just for us old knuckleheads watching and yelling at the TV? Who will be the bigger superstar in this series? Well, Jalen Brunson, my MVP vote. If I had an MVP vote, I'm still probably voting for Joker because I still think he had statistically the best season he's ever had, and he's still amazing. But Joker, SGA, 1A, 1B. But importance to his team, Jalen Brunson, my MVP, man. What he has done for the New York Knicks and that New York Knicks organization since he's come over here, he has brought life back into Madison Square Garden, where it was void of life for a long time. So thank you, Jalen Brunson. I appreciate what you're doing. You're bringing the excitement back to the Garden. But this is essentially Jalen Brunson and his team versus Halliburton, who has stepped up in these playoffs and has a lot of fuel. So right now you got Captain Clutch versus Mr. Overrated. And he's taken that to heart, man. When his peers voted him as the most overrated superstar, I think that hurt, and he definitely showed out and showed up in the last two series. The Pacers are going to need that Halliburton to get through the New York Knicks. This is going to be a very physical series. This is going to be a very tough series because the Pacers have not played anybody like the New York Knicks right now. And the New York Knicks have played some physical basketball the last two series. Very, very physical in that Detroit series, very physical in that Boston Celtics series. And I think that's what they need to do to be able to beat the Indiana Pacers right now. Because that Pacers pace of play is ridiculous. The Indy 500, that is that team right now. They are on another level, another gear when they run up and down the court. 1-2 dribbles, they're already over midcourt and they're already setting up their play. They are very fast. They play very fast. They like the fast break. They like to get the rebounds. So New York Knicks are going to have to play physical defense to slow those guys down. And Tyrese Halliburton needs to be a superstar to match up with Jalen Brunson. So it's going to be interesting. I want to hear what you guys think. Do you see Brunson being that guy, the MVP of the squad for the New York Knicks, or do you see Halliburton outplaying him and leading the Pacers to some victories there? So I'm curious to see what you think. I'm curious to see these matchups because we got a lot of great matchups in this series. My other big question is road victories. The New York Knicks had some really big road victories, especially against those Boston Celtics. To go into Boston Garden and win those first two games, that changed the trajectory of that series immensely. That just knocked Boston on their heels. I know Boston came in and still won at the Garden, but the New York Knicks to win in the Boston Garden is probably one of the hardest buildings for a visiting team to come in because, man, that Boston crowd is ruckus. They are vocal. And it is a tough building to play in just physically. Like I hear about like the AC sometimes doesn't work and it gets hot in that building. Like I hear all kinds of stuff about playing in Boston Garden. So I think that really prepared them because Indiana is a tough place to play, man. And the way those Pacers are playing, the way that those fans are rallying around them, and Indiana is going to bring in Reggie Miller and all these other guys from all throughout the years for the Indiana Pacers, and they're going to sit them right there, and they're going to make sure They front and center these guys, and they're just going to bring that energy into that building. So, can the Knicks win on the road, or can the Pacers win on the road? Because I think that's going to be the key to this series: is which team is going to be able to steal a road victory. Because if you can steal one on the road and get that confidence to be able to win in somebody else's building, that is going to pay dividends. So as a Knicks fan, I'm as excited, but I'm also worried. I do not want to see Indiana come in and like steal game 1 or steal game 2. I think that will hurt our psyche a little bit. But if the Knicks handle their business in the Garden, can go on the road and steal one, and continue to have home court advantage, I think that's going to help. The Knicks cannot lose home court advantage. Because if this goes 7 games, I want that 7 games in New York, that 7th game in New York. I don't think it does. I think Knicks in 6. That seems to be the theme right now with them in the Eastern Conference. So Knicks in 6. Knicks in 6. Let's go. It's going to be a great game, man. That Garden, the energy is going to be electric. So I am uber excited for tonight's game. Excuse me. Big keys for this game and for this series. Hart, can he get a triple-double? We play very well and have some great victories when Hart is active in all facets of the game. So can Hart get us a triple-double? Can we get some key moments out of some role player guys? Precious Achiuwa, Miles McBride. We need those guys. If we're down or we need a spark, we need to see that from these. We also need their defense. OG Anunoby needs to score 20 points. If he scores 20 points, we win the game. When he's in the game and he's locked in offensively and defensively, the Knicks are unbeatable. Miles McBride. This is where you earn your paycheck. You had a phenomenal defensive series against Boston. You made some great game-saving plays. We're going to need that big time against these Indiana Pacers, because that's the only way we're going to be able to slow them down is Miles McBride playing defense. That's going to be key. Karl Anthony Towns. This is why we traded for you. Julius Randle is playing phenomenal in Minnesota, but let him do his thing in Minnesota. You're here now. You were traded. You are a superstar. 20 and 10. We need to see 20 and 10. No foul trouble. You got to watch the ticky-tack fouls. You guys can't get into foul trouble early. That hurt you in that one game against Boston. You got to watch the fouls. You got to watch these. They're going to be calling these games pretty close, especially with the emotion that's going to be wrapped up into this. But 20 and 10, Karl Anthony Towns. Jalen Brunson's going to need you. If he tries to do it all by himself, it's not going to work. We need Karl Anthony Towns and Jalen Brunson. Again, my MVP has been phenomenal for the Knicks. If he can get the Knicks to the finals, they will put you. I mean, they will just they'll build a statue of you in front of the Garden right now. So, Jalen Brunson, don't overly commit. Focus, get your team involved, be the general, but then be Captain Clutch when we need you. This is going to be interesting. Pacers, their spark guys are like an OB Toppin, TJ McConnell. Those are the guys that come off the bench, get them the spark. We got to watch them. Matherin, Nembhard, Nesmith. Those guys are going to score. They're also really good at defense, and they're also very fast. So, again, got to slow the pace of the game down on their end. Knicks, I don't mind you running, but you got to do it in spurts or you're going to run out of gas. Pascal Siakam, I think he is the biggest key to this Indiana Pacers team because he's been there before. He won a chip in Toronto. He knows these kind of games. He's played in the East. Excuse me, guys. He's played in the East. He knows the Knicks. He knows these teams. But he knows the moment. He's going to be the factor that you have to take out of this game. Tyrese, let him get his. Halliburton sometimes shoots himself out of games and has some lackluster games. So Pascal Siakam, I think, is the key. Cut the head off the snake. The rest goes away. So you got to watch out for him. And then Mr. Overrated, if he gets going, his team follows. So Knicks got a tall task here. Game 1, there's going to be a ton of electricity, but you can't get wrapped up into that. We need to stay focused, and let's come out with a victory. So we'll see what happens, guys. We'll talk about that on Saturday because we'll have a couple of games done because they play tonight. They play Friday night. So Saturday's episode at 12 p.m., we will discuss game 1 and game 2. We'll also talk about game 2 for the Minnesota Timberwolves. But the way it looks right now, OKC's coming out of this series. Timberwolves, you look terrible. Very disappointed in Anthony Edwards. But I have them in 5. I think the gentleman sweep for OKC. Timberwolves, I think you get 1 at home. But the way you look right now, and as good as Oklahoma City looks, I think it's a wrap. And Knicks in 6. I think it's going to be a tough series. I think it's going to be a hard-fought series. It's going to be a fast series, but Knicks stay healthy. Knicks in 6. Let's go, baby. Whew. Again, guys, I'm trying not to get overly excited because it's going to be a lot of fun tonight. So, guys, hey, we only got, these 4 teams left. We're going to get into the final, so we'll be talking a lot about these games that are going on, but we're also going to talk about the draft coming up. June 25th and 26th, we have the NBA draft. Of course, the Dallas Mavericks pulled a horseshoe out of their you-know-what to get that first pick in the draft, the Cooper Flag sweepstakes. But, okay, so one guy, but there's a lot of prospects out there, homegrown and international, and we're going to talk about that a little bit because we got to talk about the next generation coming in. So we'll start deep diving a little bit here. I have notes here that we're going to talk about some of the top 30 prospects coming in the NBA draft. First thing I want to talk about is let's discuss the guys that just got voted as the Kia, even though I'm not sponsored by anybody, but Kia's NBA All Rookie First Team League. First team, excuse me. Kia NBA All First Team. It's a very long, drawn out sentence, but that all rookie first team was just announced. Stephen Castle, unanimous vote, your rookie of the year from San Antonio Spurs. Man, talk about San Antonio Spurs. They have the 2nd pick in the draft. They have tons of draft capital. Imagine if they go out and get Giannis Antetokounmpo, or if they add a Kevin Durant or somebody else on that team. Woo, man. They're going to be ridiculous. A healthy Wemby, a healthy De'Aaron Fox next year, but we'll get into that. Let's talk about rookies right now. So Stephen Castle, congratulations. Rookie of the year. Also unanimously, can't talk right now, unanimously selected, still can't say it, unanimously selected all rookie first team. You got Zach Edey, great season here from the Grizzlies. Zachariah Richard, I can't even say his name. Zachariah Richeri. I know I'm butchering his name, and I apologize here, but for the Hawks. And then Alex Sarr for the Wiz. The Wizards at least had something positive. Excuse me, something positive to come out of the season. Alex Sarr voted. And then Jalen Wells for the Grizzlies. So Grizzlies with a couple of guys on that, on the all-rookie first team. So congratulations to those first-team rookies. And guys, who do we have in this year's draft? And once we get closer to the draft there in June, I'll do a show committed to that. I have some special guests that I already know that I'd like to bring on, who are phenomenal with college players and um, kind of scouting. So be prepared. I got some Boom Broadcasting brethren I'm going to be bringing on the show here, and we'll discuss the next batch of rookies coming into the NBA. Because again, it's more than just Cooper Flag, guys. I know that's the popular name everybody knows, but it's time to familiarize yourself with some of the other guys that are out there. So we'll start at number 30. As far as this is the rankings, and we'll pull some of these guys, and a lot of this will change too as you start getting closer to the draft time. But right now, preliminary rankings: Tahad Pettifor, point guard out of Auburn, strong, quick guy, point guard, a little short, 6'1", which is crazy to think 6'1" is still short. Some of my favorite point guards: Allen Iverson, Muggsy Bogues, Spud Webb. Short Kings rule, dude. But he's number 30, point guard out of Auburn. Number 29, Danny Wolf, center out of Michigan, 6'11". And of course, nowadays centers aren't centers anymore. This guy's got quick feet. He's got a shot. Centers just don't go down in the low post anymore and stand there. You got to be able to move all around the court. So center is a completely different position than it was 20, 25 years ago. Number 27, got a kid from China, Hassan Yang, center from China, 7'2", big kid. Not very fast, but a good passer and a good shooter. So it would be interesting to see. Big winner in the NBA 2025 Combine. So Hassan Yang, number 27. Number 26, Will Riley, shooting guard out of Illinois. 6'9", elite scorer, big shot maker. Needs to work on his defense a little bit, but good size for a shooting guard, man. 6'9", that's a lot of height right there, especially nowadays in this tall, long NBA. You better be tall and long and make a shot and be athletic. So Will Riley, your 26th ranked, and number 25, Ben Sharif, shooting guard out of Israel. Again, a lot of foreign players, which is phenomenal in this draft and in a lot of drafts, man, because the NBA is no longer just an American game, guys. It is a worldwide game. So it is great to see a lot of these players coming from other countries, because we would not have a ton of the different players. I mean, SGA is Canadian, Luka Doncic. So, I mean, you talk Rudy Gobert, and, you look at some of these players throughout. I mean, you look at Dirk Nowitzki and some of the other guys, Tony Parker, that came from overseas. So, I mean, the NBA has been blessed to be this melting pot of world talent, man, and I love seeing it. It's a great thing to see. So that's our top. So we got 30 through 25 right now. So you got 5 in there so far, and we'll deep dive into these again the closer we get to the draft. Next show on Saturday, I'll go 24 through 20 and give you some more names out there. So, guys, I am super excited. Let's go Knicks. Knicks in 6. Knicks in 6. Thank you guys very much for joining me today. I am Jason Colenso. This is 3 from Deep. These playoffs are crazy. I'm loving it right now. As a New York Knicks fan, I cannot be happy enough. We'll see how happy I am on Saturday's show. So thank you guys very much for joining me, and I'll catch you later. Knicks in 6. Knicks in 6. Knicks in 6.